Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you warmly back to another sequence, and today is going to be quite a philosophical one. And today I want to discuss the beauty of your physical peak, or of your physique, let's say, the peak of your physique. And the reason I want to discuss this is because I figured that a lot of people discuss kind of the scientific aspect of working out and eating properly and things of that sort. But I haven't really seen that many people discuss like the Socratic approach to this type of question. And it's a really poetic and a deep philosophical question. And that's something I want to really discuss. And I think that lately people have been becoming more attracted again to becoming healthy again, and abandoning alcohol and vaping and smoking and things of that sort. I think there was a statistic somewhere saying that my generation, so my Gen Z generation, has been abandoning alcohol more and more, and abandoning smoking and vaping and all of these bad habits, sort of, and maybe even fast food to some degree. Though again, it can vary from country to country, but I think the overall trend kind of magnifies this trend that people want to go back to the healthy route and become again physically strong and look nice and things of that sort. So I'm not gonna discuss the scientific aspect of it. I'm not gonna tell you what the macronutrients are and how many carbs and proteins you need to eat, but rather it's more of a Socratic inspired video, let's say. And I think I'll begin by saying that your beauty, your physical beauty, is basically a duty to yourself. And I think Socrates said something along the lines of that it's a shame to grow old without seeing the strengths and beauty your body is capable of. Reaching your physical peak is honoring that duty. And well, I have this quote in front of me here, and I think this is 100% on point. Because if you never experience what your body is truly capable of doing, then it is truly a shame. And your body is capable of doing many things, even to the point that you might not even imagine. And well, of course, we all have limits. We all have human limits here, but you really don't know your true self until you really push yourself really hard. And basically here, what Socrates is trying to say is that you have to, at least one time in your life, for even a year or two, just experience how your body could look or will look, you being with biceps and abs and strong calves and legs and quads and hamstrings, just everything kind of achieving its maximum point. And I think that's something that everyone should at least one time, if you're capable of. Of course, now we're also talking about exceptions here. If you're an invalid, or if you're just handicapped, yeah, of course, that's a different story here. I'm not gonna make people do that as well. I'm just simply saying that, assuming that you're healthy and assuming that you're capable, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally capable of pursuing workouts, then absolutely you should give it a go. So, and essentially, it's also harmony of body and soul. So, true body isn't just muscles or looks, but it's also, how physical training disciplines the soul. It's teaching you self-control, balance, courage, and so on and so forth, controlling your temperament. And it's not just simply working on your physical aspects, but alongside with that comes all the mental training. And I think this is something what I can relate to quite a bit, because if I for example relate to my sport, ice hockey, then I learned as a goaltender to focus properly, to remain calm in bad situations, learning how to lose, learning how to deal with certain situations that are not pleasant, things of that sort. Also courage and balance, and it teaches you to fight hard until the very end, until the very last second, the last minute. And I think with simply working out is pretty much the same thing. It's very applicable as well here. And one thing I noticed is also that when you work out regularly, when you train, and of course you become, very, strong and beautiful and things of that sort. And, for example, me as a man, having biceps and having, the proper body structure, it's very nice for you first. So like you feel good about yourself, you feel very motivated, and you feel, just great. There's this, I think it's what the endorphins rushing is, this kind of good feeling reward sort of rush that you receive after each workout. And one thing I also notice is that not only do you like yourself, but other people start to treat you much better. Other people start to treat you with proper respect, and you might even get, some competitive edge. You might get like one advantage over another, be it at work or at some other event or some place, and this is true, whether you like it or not, and whether this might hurt you or not. This is 100% true. I've witnessed people who were, not so in shape previously and then became very fit and active and all of that, and I could see that they were treated differently, and for the better, for that matter. So, this is the reality of human beings, that, other human beings respect other human beings who are physically strong. And this is something that you cannot fake it or create just, in one day or nothing. And the reason why people respect you is because they see the courage, the self-control, the discipline, all of these things, all of these little qualities that you have behind you. And this is something what's very attractive to people. So, and that's the reflection of the higher beauty. So, physical beauty is very fleeting, but it also points to something eternal, the form of beauty. Your peak is a glimpse of the higher truths, let's say, right? And with that also comes the confidence and vitality. You start feeling confident, and at this type of peak, your body starts to radiate the energy and your presence. You make yourself known in a group, in a room full of people, and it's simply the joy of being fully alive and capable, pretty much, let's say. And it's also, I guess, if you want to be philosophical about it, it's just the preciousness of the moment. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like in spring when you have a bunch of flowers growing, right? They're blooming. It's like a flower in full bloom, right? Your peak is beautiful because it doesn't last forever, essentially. And it's simply here to remind us to appreciate it deeply while this is here. At some point we're all gonna grow old, and we're all gonna be shrinking and being wrinkly and not capable of running that fast or lifting heavy things up anymore. Of course, if you continue to exercise and train properly every day, even at 70, you can still look strong and you can still be strong, of course, no doubt. But even then, your body, you lose testosterone. Well, for guys, with age, you lose testosterone, you lose the muscle mass, you lose, the capabilities of doing certain physical activities and so on and so forth. So, it's also there to kind of remind you that, this is your peak right now. This is, your time, your only one time that you have. And after that, it's going to be very difficult to attain that kind of physical peak. So, to all the people who, I guess, are overweight or fat, or, people who are kind of against that and are this kind of body self-loving group of people, and meaning in a negative way, who don't purposely want to work out because they find it fat phobic or some kind of crap, look, go ahead. I'm, this video here, or this philosophical approach is not here to try to, get all of you guys to work out and, do that. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just saying that from a biological standpoint, from a philosophical from a human being standpoint. People find it attractive if you look good, if you look muscular, if you look strong. And this is how we were for many thousands of years. I think I read somewhere that during the Stone Age, you know, the cavemen who were just simply being hunters and gatherers, they would walk about 15 hours a day, like either jogging or walking or sprinting. And this is like equivalent to like a 1 week worth of workout they did in one day, like what we do. So if we do like 1 week worth of like 15 hours working out in 1 week, that's what they do in 3/4 of a day, or that's what they did 3/4 of a day. So they were really super damn fit. And also, you know, not just, you know, sprinting and jogging and hunting, but also rowing by boat, taking them days to sail to another piece of land, a different continent. I mean, the people, our ancestors were built so differently back then that it's kind of a little bit disappointing that we have all this luxury, you know. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, it's bad per se, but I'm just saying that from a physical standpoint, from a philosophical standpoint, that it's kind of unfortunate that we have succumbed to this much comfort, and to the point where we don't even have to go out anymore, and we can just simply order food from home, and we can use our cars anywhere we want and all of that. So physically speaking, this is not good for us. Comfort is a deadly killer, honestly speaking. So, you know, I think this is something what we can think about in the future. And yeah, on that note, I'll stop it right here. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it, and make sure to share this video with your friends and loved ones, and subscribe, like, whatever you want. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.